Welcome back to VCT Americas and our first match on this super week, super Saturday. 100 Thieves versus Crew. This one is do or die for both of these teams. Let's start on the 100 Thieves side. They're in a slightly better position, having one W in that win column. But just as important as it is for Crew to get some wins on the board, for 100 Thieves as well if they want postseason prospects.
Oh, you can see the parents out there for 100 Thieves coming to support, because this is a very important matchup for them today, Sean.
Yeah, this is a super important matchup. I mean, we said mathematically, if you lose this game, you're not out of the playoffs. It's the strength of schedule and who you're going to be playing come later on in this split. And it's very unlikely you're not going to drop a couple of those games if you're either of these teams.
And, of course, the importance of beating the teams closest to you in the standings, right? That's why even more so taking a win over Crew here would be impactful for them.
Yeah, the game we are looking at today is Crew, and they absolutely do need this win. Because thus far, it's been, I think, a disappointment compared to preseason expectations for 100 Thieves. They took that win over Sentinels, and they went on down and went over against EG. I think might be a little flipped on the standings there. I think it was the other way around, a 1-2 versus Sen, and then a 2-0 versus EG.
Yeah,
but regardless, they're in this rough position of 1-2 in the standings right now.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you look at that schedule again, and after Crew, it only gets tougher. They've only played North American teams so far. From here, they've got to go through the entirety of LATAM.
There's been 0 wins against the Brazilian teams from our North American team. So, I mean, their strength of schedule moving forward is ridiculous. And this is where they need to flip things around heading into Super Week.
Yeah, and thus far, we haven't seen the coordination we were expecting clicking. They've only made one change coming into this season with bringing Cryo into the mix, and it hasn't really worked out still to this point. Their attacking sides, they've lent a lot more into the mid-rounds, less into the structure, and they've still really struggled in these mid-games to find the adaptation, to find the correct call in the mid-round. And their game last week was a perfect example of that. They just got patently out-called by C9 across 2 maps, which is a game we expected them to win.
It definitely felt like C9 had their number at almost every turn last week, right? They did have a couple set plays, but C9 read them perfectly. And the way C9 used utility leads me to believe that there's a lot of tells in 100 Thieves when you watch the VODs.
So what needs to change, or what have we identified in 100 Thieves that's like an important piece to either work around, change, or improve?
So I actually created this Telestrator segment that can kind of help us really look at a lot of the things that went wrong for 100 Thieves last week. So to kick off this clip, I'm going to zoom in on the mini-map a little bit here, and you can see what's happening right now for Zeppa is he'll throw a knife that's going to be unbreakable and actually land right here. This is a quick A main play for Cloud9. You can see Cryo dashing up into A main right there. The dart is above main. I call that the cannon dart. It's slightly off the screen right here by the cannon. And then the KO pop flashes Cryo through. Unfortunately, no one from Cloud9 is in main right now, and they're actually playing a super passive setup on this A site. So you can see Cryo takes this peek. But what do you know now, looking at Cryo's kit? Well, he has no dash, and he only has 1 smoke. So how are they going to entry this site? And 3 of their players are getting suppressed. If you can see this knife right here landing, that's unbreakable. So this is Cloud9 understanding the time frames of the round that 100 Thieves likes to do these execs in. And you can see now when they exit A main, they have drones, they have flashes, they have mollies, they have shocks. There's so many things, and they just run out dry. And this is something we didn't used to see out of this 100 Thieves team. So they just obviously are going to get slaughtered this round. But going into the next round here that I've pulled up, what you're going to see is another insane read coming out of Cloud9. And again, this is because 100 Thieves is not changing up enough. They put 3 people close to this A main smoke. They have the knife hit the wall right here, and 100 Thieves is playing smart. They're playing off of the knife. But watch what happens when Derek pops his Hunter's Fury right now, and this Omen smoke falls. The second all of this happens, the KO ult is popped. Derek loses his Hunter's Fury. You can see he actually had popped it already. The counterplay from Cloud9 comes in, they're pushing down Derek, and they have the spike control. There is no world where 100 Thieves should win this round. But this is the reason they're still in this split. They somehow managed to pull this round back. Asuna comes out of A main and gets the most gratuitous kill on a tree player, and then Stellar can close out the 1-on-2 right here, just at the end from A main entrance. You can see I'll speed up a little bit. Asuna's gonna go out, gets that frag, and then here we go as Asuna and Stellar approach main, and Stellar just resets here, and he's just gonna close it out. So he ends up taking out Jake on the left, and then the person top swings, and it's really well played by him, but a lot of the fundamentals just look so awful when I watch 100 Thieves right now.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, if your wins are coming in clutch situations and individuals popping off at the end of rounds, it's not really a sustainable strategy, right? And so that's where I'll kind of come back to, like, is the issue that we've identified a lack of preparation or strategic depth from 100 Thieves? Are they just too readable as a team initially, or are they like struggling to adapt once their initial game plan falls through, or all of the above?
I think the issue is the mid-round. So much of this year, they've put an emphasis on relying more on giving their players opportunity to play in the mid-round, look for an opportunity, execute off of that. Whereas last year, when you were with the team, it was a lot more fixated on some of these set plays. And what I've noticed throughout that is they kind of struggle when their opponent is reclearing space. In both of the games that they played versus C9, it was just like one piece of utility from Zeppa, like the KO knife that you were mentioning, or on Lotus, it was one Sky Flash would come out. C9 would be able to full rotate and be completely ready for these executes. And on top of that, it doesn't feel like the spacing is there. The coordination isn't on point. Cryo will dash in. The trade isn't quite ready. It just still feels off.
Yeah, and while the performance of the team is still looking shaky, there is one question looming over this team as a whole. What happened to Cryo? This was supposed to be his year.
Yeah, and this is a player coming in. I mean, he spent a large portion of his career now as like the rank 1 player in North America. This guy has been tearing it up in our scene for so long. So to see him struggling on this team is just something that's hard for me to explain, quite frankly, because he's a great opper, a great rifler, his movement's good, his comms are good, he's a good attitude. So I can't really pinpoint what is the deal with Cryo right now. And then when you watch them play, you quickly realize, I just think he's lacking confidence. And I don't know where he gets that back from, but maybe he can get it today in a game against Crew.
I mean, you can even see it in some of those reactions that we saw when he's struggling. It's just, he's quiet, he's just sitting there. It doesn't seem like he has that same gusto that we've come to expect from this guy in the past. And on top of that, it doesn't feel like the system 100 Thieves right now is setting him up for success. With XSET, he had so many resources put into him to be able to strive as a player. And now when they're fixating more on these mid-rounds for 100 Thieves, they're oftentimes just kind of making him dash in, try and take space. And when the trades aren't there, it's just, it provides no value, and that's got to be brutal for a player like him.
And that's the problem of, you know, running this Jet in a looser system. The Jet is going to have to take some dry peeks into people eventually, and it's not a sustainable solution if there's not protocols in place. And that's what's going to come with time with 100 Thieves.
You talk about confidence. The easiest way to get confidence back is to start getting wins. So we'll see if they can get that done today here against Crew. Now, Super Week is a pivotal moment at VCT Americas, and we spoke with Cryo and other pros for their perspective on this pressure cooker.
So Super Week is mainly just a week where we play 2 games in the span of 1 week, double the games, more fun, less prep time.
The less prep time could be better for teams that are more on the fly and more better at adapting mid-series.
Honestly, Super Week is gonna be really close. I think the teams that on the league right now, everyone is like beatable. So yeah, I think the Super Week will define a lot about the playoffs.
Bom, vai ser uma correria. A gente vai ter que dar, se a gente dava 100%, agora a gente vai dar 300% para conseguir fazer tudo bonitinho e dar esse gás, né? É uma super semana, o próprio nome fala, a gente tem que dar um gás, um super gás.
Es una de las semanas más importantes obviamente para el equipo. No podemos permitirnos perder siquiera solo una si queremos no complicarnos a los playoffs. Y eso, esperamos ganar las dos.
We're excited. Prep is one of our strengths over here at the EG camp. So yeah, we'll see how this first Super Week goes.
The stakes are clear here moving into Super Week. So now it's time for us to move on to Crew. Right now, they're our last winless team here in VCT Americas. The pressure is on because going 0-2 in Super Week means you can forget about Tokyo. They need to rebound from last week's loss to Evil Geniuses, or honestly, their season is looking cooked.
Yeah, 0-3 right now. You heard it from the players. You heard it from Davies. They need to win out in the Super Week if they want a chance to come back. And right now, it doesn't seem like they're in the form to do so.
Yeah, and I think the sense of urgency is really going to hit them after losing that game to EG last week, being up 9-3 on Pearl and dropping that map to a Gecko EG that looked so bad up until that game. I don't know what happened to Crew.
Yeah, they lost that comeback, and then in the second map, it kind of required another wild comeback. Their attacking side, Keston only got 1 kill. They couldn't get anything going in that half. Had a crazy comeback of their own. Then we get into map number 3, and it just kind of felt like the game plan was falling apart on Fracture. EG was going for these set plays with the Sova, where they weren't breaking darts, they weren't Dash?
Yeah?
Are you good?
Are you,
Yeah,
is
no,
that the
I'm
crew-
great. I'm so good right now. Look, guys, if you merely look at the standings, you can objectively say the Crew is the worst team in the league, all right? They don't have a win. But are they really the worst?
Yes.
That's the question I'm asking. Well, because I don't think so, all right? In fact, I'm sure if you just look at the numbers, that you will be convinced with me that they are not the worst team in the league. Now, let's remember, Valorant is a game of inches, a game of rounds,
Sure.
all right? And so just as easily as they are 0-3, they could be 2-1, all right? So follow me on this. We're going to start with their schedule. The 0-2 against Furia. I know that looks right.
Hey guys, what is up? My name is HALANT. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a watch party of 100 Thieves versus Crew. Let's go. As a fanboy of one who plays Valorant, I'm always in awe of his amazing skill and practice. His gameplay is a true work of art. And I can't help but watching it. And we see top it. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? The fuck? I even picked up a few tricks from his gameplay and try to implement them in my way watching other play Valorant. It's always a fascinating experience. We're lucky to be a part of this experience. What the fuck? Bro. Help me. मेरा फोन साले चैट जीपीटी पे लिखा होगा है, पक्का.
Took some misplays for the game to just barely slip
Yeah,
out of
he
their
needs to
fingers.
calm down.
That should have been a 2-0, I'm telling you.
EG
Telling you right
is
now.
the second worst team in the league. Are you trying to argue they can make their way up the standings? Are you trying to argue they can
I
win
am.
today?
So let's look at their remaining
see it.
schedule and where they might be able to find some wins. Today, 100 Thieves, I think, is obviously one that we're going to target. If we can flip back to the overall standings, that would be great. Just so because I've got their future schedule here. 100 Thieves, I think they're getting a dub. NRG, maybe. Loud and Leviathan, of course, we're going to go ahead and forfeit those games. We don't stand a chance.
Is
But
that the right mentality?
What?
I don't think that's a good mentality to go into.
Well, we're just trying to make the case that
I
they're
thought you
not
were trying to sell me
Mimi.
the Crew.
I'm not trying to get to playoffs here. I'm just on the Croupium for one win and one win only. Let's get
think
above.
you need a little bit more crew.
2 wins?
I don't even think you.
You want 2 wins? I'll give you 2 wins. 100 Thieves, Sentinels, which I realize is going to sound pretty crazy considering Sentinels against Loud just yesterday. And honestly, I guess if they keep Marved in the lineup, my case gets made a lot
You're
worse.
laughing at your own argument.
That's just the Croupium. It's just the adverse effects of the Croupium. Come on now.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
Also, Sean, you're wearing full pink. How could you not be on my side today?
Yeah, I'm a little ashamed of that.
Okay, a few more things. Look, we're not arguing objective current placement. We're looking toward the end of the season, and there I could easily see them ending with 3 wins and possibly above 2 other teams. Also, I'm not alone in this argument. I've got a couple notes from Sideshow here, who I recruited to help me in my discussion of this one. Jogamo last week was blessed by God. okay?
He's right.
He was blessed by God. You want to talk about EG getting that W last week, and it was a one-man blessed by God show. That 9-3 comeback on Pearl, that was a disgusting performance, and if he performs that way again, I think we're going to have to do some investigations. 100 Thieves also hasn't played the top 4 teams in the entire league.
Okay.
That's not the case here for Crew. So again, when you talk about strength of schedule, you talk about getting above one other team in the standings, I think this game today is the one that Crew has to target to get it done.
Dash, you're making me feel like I'm in like a corporate board meeting. You're just throwing numbers at me. Can you give me something concrete for
All right,
Crew?
look.
Because I want to believe.
Clearly not a convert. I guess I'm alone in this camp. And it's not, look, it's not the Hopium talking here.
Is there a player maybe?
Look at Nags.
Okay.
Nags, that's who I'm targeting. He's been putting up solid numbers, and I think he has to be the leader to get this season started for this squad.
Okay, I mean, I'll give him that. Nags has been solid thus far. I feel like the switch to the Killjoy roll off Chamber's been good for him.
Nags has really turned stuff around. So honestly, Dash is kind of making a pretty good case here.
I feel it. I feel it. Look, again, I am not trying to make an ugly picture pretty. I'm not trying to say that the current doldrums, that they're experiencing is to be made to sound like they're in a pretty position. Just steamroll forward.
So can we bring back to reality for a second? Because what this team has struggled with has been similar problems to 100 Thieves. It's been the coordination. You look at the game versus EG, Kesnet, the new player coming in, like, it just didn't feel like it was clicking. The spacing was off. Like, we're just not seeing it for Crew.
We see the these unique comps like with
this is getting unreal. Bhai, this is getting weird. Most probably साला चैट जीपीटी से करवा के आया होगा, जैसी भाषा लग रही है उसकी। इतने प्रोजेक्ट तो मैंने भी कर लिए कि मेरे को पता चल गया चैट जीपीटी कैसे लिखती है, बट I'm getting creeped out. तभी तो मैंने तुम लोगों को भेजी। Oh, sorry bro. I mean, like, it's okay, but थोड़ा weird हो रहा है bro. वो क्या होता है? Oh bro, okay, but you know. क्या है ये तेरी भाई पता नहीं है, बोलता तो है कि 12th में था। वो बोल रहा है तुझे योर इज चुप। 16 का है नहीं 18। अबे कितने साल का है? 18। तू 18 होके ऐसी चीजें क्यों कर रहा है भाई? ओ फक मैन, लीगल है। अबे चूतिया चुप रहेगा। उठा लेते हैं घर से। हलंत भाई भैया ये क्या हो रहा है भाई? मेरे को नहीं पता भाई। उफ यार मेरे को वीडियो भी एडिट करनी है। हलंत फैन बॉय वाइल्डिंग। हंसी आ रही है भाई।
Postseason picture. This stream contains fast flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
HALANT gaining all the race. This is not race, man. I don't need this kind of race. I'm happy with no race at all.
Everyone was talking about him, and this is going to be the guy to look out for. Too much Cryo again. Does this guy miss? Does
Cryo.
ever miss? No, he doesn't.
Awkward वो esports वाले. इन लोगों को अपने रूम से बाहर निकलना. I can't say this shit. मैं खुद नहीं निकलता. Is the match getting started? आज जल्दी शुरू हो रहा है.
I mean, we're gonna treat them the same as literally every team. I'll be excited to play Kesnet. A lot of people talk really well about him and his gameplay.
Pero no nos hace fuerte porque tenemos a Kesnet, no nos hace falta ningún tipo de azar ni nada por el estilo.
Creo que son un equipo fuerte, muy completo. Tal vez su desempeño en la liga no ha sido el mejor, pero creo que el potencial de ser los mejores sigue ahí, de ellos.
Peeks back into the paranoia. Wow. He was blind. Is Rooney gonna let him? Swings around looking for the spam on a Jake. Delivers! Stellar gets 3!
I think Furia is pretty good. The Brazilian teams play like really like grouped up, not as slow as NA teams.
Sorry भाई अब नहीं करूँगा. अरे नहीं sorry बोलने की जरूरत थी भाई. कोई थी.
Bom confronto, que eles estão bem fortes, um time com bom mental, pelo que eu vi.
But Ethan's just holding the dugout right now. Somehow, with 1 HP, Busio still puts 4 kills into the round.
Arlen Van Boy, अरे और अबे चल चुप नहीं करना साले. आज मैच जल्दी शुरू कर दिया ना. Who will win map 1? 100 Thieves. आज आइलैंड था, कल पहाड़ घूमने जा रहा. अरे वाह भैया आप तो घूमने जा रहे हो. आप तो बड़े ही पैसे वाले लगते हो. मेरे को इतना पैसा आ रहा है आप तो घूमने का. मात्र 500 रुपए में. ओ तेरी बैंक. 100 दी बैंक. पांग पांग.
Crew versus 100 Thieves. Pressure mounting for both of our squads as they hunt for wins on the path to playoffs. This is an all-important matchup when it comes to that race for the postseason.
Yeah, two teams trying to find a chance to keep their dreams alive of playoffs. Two teams with a lot of tough opponents ahead of them, and also two that have really struggled to find the coordination, to find their style in the season thus far. This is definitely a match with a lot of pressure for both squads.
I would say the pressure is really on 100 Thieves though right now. All of North America had so much confidence in this squad entering the split, and to be sitting here right now at 1-2 heading into this game against Crew, only having played the North American team so far, this seems like dire straits for 100 Thieves where they need to win this game.
Yeah, and 100 Thieves, you hope that they prepared something new. There's a lot to learn from that Cloud9 game, a lot of fundamental mistakes they were making, and I think that there's a chance that we can see some of those maps again in the pool. Specifically, I'd expect to see an Ascent out of this one, which is one where both these teams showed a lot of problems. I think there's great capacity for improvement for both of these teams from their games last week.
Yeah, and while there is a lot of pressure on the matchup itself, we hope that Crew's not feeling as much of it, indexing into that nothing to lose mentality. The expectation heavily in the 100 Thieves camp, okay, maybe people don't have a magnifying glass on us so much, we can play more freely and finally find that form that's eluded us so far. Let's start talking about maps and how either of these teams can get it done, because we've discussed lots of areas of improvement. We've discussed the weaknesses, we've discussed difficulty and agent select as well as we dive into the map vetoes.
Sean, you mentioned that Crew struggles with some of those maps where their opponent plays those weird compositions.
Yeah.
100 Thieves has a few of those. They've been trying to experiment with the Gecko a little bit. They've been trying to experiment with the Viper on Ascent as well. But for the bans, both these teams will just go to their permas.
Yeah, and that's big out of Crew because, in my opinion, 100 Thieves actually looks like Icebox might be their best map with Cryo and Omen.
Yeah.
Ironically. And then 100 Thieves banning out Pearl, which obviously the entire LATAM region is just insane on that map right now. Don't blame them at all.
Yeah, Ascent is our first map in the series. Both these teams had very poor attack sides last week and honestly came up against similar problems. Second map, though, we head to Split. Crew played this once.
मन तो कर रहा है वॉच पार्टी ना करो और लोग दोस्तों के साथ खेल दोस्तों के साथ खेल लो दोस्तों सो रहे होंगे इस टाइम पे बट गेम वैलो खेल लो.
The one thing I will say about the Ascent pick, just real quick, is that was one of their map losses in that 2-0 against Furia, but they have picked it in every series following that and have come away with victories. So they feel a lot better about their game plan and what they've learned from that early loss on Ascent at the very least. In reference to the Split pick, yeah, unfortunately for them, that was the other of the losses up there against Furia, but at least a tight one at 13-11.
I believe they picked that.
And they had picked that one.
Yeah, so this is a map Crew is also very familiar with. I really hope we see a comp change out of 100 Thieves on this opening map of Ascent, because they have the footage with this Viper comp failing twice now. Once against Sentinels and once again last week against Cloud9. And I think it's time that this comp, has not existed anymore for 100 Thieves. They need to move on past it. And I think Crew, they're probably just going to go with the standard tried and true, right? The Killjoy, the Sova. I want to see 100 Thieves go back to that and beat Crew in a game of fundamentals.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel pretty good about the first two maps for Crew, but I'm concerned if it does go all the way to the third map and Fracture. They looked a little lost against EG.
Yeah, they did. But for map number one here in the Agents, like you said, Crew probably won't change anything. But for 100 Thieves, do they return to this Viper? I like the ideas of the Viper for other teams. I think for Loud, for Furia, they've experimented with it. The mid-orb gives you a lot of value on the attacking side, but it didn't feel like 100 Thieves played to the Viper's advantages in the mid-rounds. And instead, like your telestrator was talking about, we're so often going for these hard side execs where their opponent had a great read on them.
Yeah, and what I'm really worried about for 100 Thieves here isn't there so much their attack, ironically, it's their defense, where they lack a Killjoy, they lack the alarm bot in mid, and the pushing and pulling of their rotations, and just, they lack the info. They're not using the initiator util properly on the KO and the Sova to maneuver around the map without a Sentinel. Can they get enough rounds on defense?
Yeah, for Crew, though, starting on this defensive side, they have a lot of advantages. Nags was fantastic as an anchor on this map. Kesnet, this is where he ran things back against EG. They had an insane comeback to win this map last time. So this squad, starting on their stronger side, there's a chance here for Crew.
Yeah, they picked up 9 wins on the defensive half to take that one against EG. We'll see if they can make it happen again here today in our first matchup of the day. All that's left to do is send it over to our casters for today's first matchup. Two gentlemen that have never been hopped up on the copium more. It's Brennan Sideshow.
I'm off the copium. I'm not on any sort of copium at all. I'm off the copium. I'm not on any sort of copium at all, honestly, for this match here. My expectations are nice. They're somewhere in the middle, honestly. Okay. The middle of the pack as well. And coincidentally, somewhere in the middle of the pack is what these teams are going to be hunting for as well. Crew for their first win in the Americas. One of their best chances yet to get one. Potentially in the whole of their split. And the same could be said as well for 100 Thieves. Not necessarily their first
Why am I getting ads when I'm subbed?
Start climbing
well,
up
there shouldn't be any ads running at all right now.
Just to recover
but
if
you are
a very poor beginning for both of
try
these
refresh.
teams. Yeah. The desk has talked about it to a very deep for both sides. For 100 Thieves, because their strength of schedule just gets ridiculous after this. And even if you look at the teams that Crew has coming up, 100 Thieves currently look like the weakest of all the teams that Crew has left to play.
Yes.
So this really is a battle to turn the tide of what's been happening so far in VCC.
Let's go chat. हो गया.
So no time wasted. Barriers down, getting straight into the pistol round here for map number 1, and a bit of a team flash just off the rip.
Not a good start, is it?
Not a great start, but still. Mid is going to be where 100 Thieves are looking to explore, using the Viper Orb just to try and clear out through it. And look at that, even just going quite fast off the rip here.
Players here.
A lot of players anchoring, and they're wading right into it. There was no push or pull, waiting for it. A lot of the util going missing right into the firing line, and it's absolutely flawless.
भाई केजे तो ए से बी पर पहुंच भी नहीं पाई. ए से बी छोड़ मिड भी नहीं पहुंच पाई. तो
They
जीत
had
भी गए.
4 players ready to receive and destroyed that 100 Thieves B split attempt. 100 Thieves really struggled on their attack side last time we saw them on this map. Stella had his Viper's Pit up for, I think, like half the attacking rounds and just never had an opportunity to use it. And Crew already looking like they've put their homework in. They read that play coming through very quickly, as soon as mid was taken.
Desk was making note as well of the way that this the map pool at least has kind of landed with this series. Ascent and Split being the first two maps that both of these teams are no strangers to. Obviously, 100 Thieves have had their woes on this first one of Ascent, but for Crew, I think they can find themselves quite fortunate as well that Split is being that second map that was picked by 100 Thieves in some ways.
And 100 Thieves actually have been picking Ascent occasionally too, so I think they've picked it in one of their series. So in theory, this should mean that we get both of these teams playing at some of their best.
Start over the top wasn't broken there, so Melzer feeling the pressure. The Viper Wall giving him a bit of cover. Wading right into it, just trying to jump straight into Melzer, cleaning him up, but positioning not really being held for the time being. Cryo afforded a bit of an upgrade, but Cryo getting the or at least Kesnet getting the confidence back with 4 kills against the Eco.
And this is going to be a Jet head-to-head to really follow. Because if Kesnet is given any room, he's the kind of player that's going to push to the very limits, and then, a lot of the times, beyond the limits.
Yeah.
So 100 Thieves need to be shutting this down early, and Kesnet will want to be pushing as far as he is possibly given space. Interesting to note so far in the first 2 rounds, Stella has not been using preset Viper walls. He threw them on the fly in the middle of the round, and they were a little unusual. Now just goes back to that default B. So Initiator utility to craft space for Cryo to forge his way down mid. No alarm bot here, no turret watching. And instead, Crew push out B main. Once more, when that utility is used from the initiators in mid, Crew are reading that it could end B, and they're taking some space.
Look at how deep Crew are pushing out towards B here. I mean, it was being mentioned about the composition that 100 Thieves were playing over and over and over again, but when you lack the killjoy, you would normally have that with your attack side defaults of watching that space. But 100 Thieves have also gained a ton of it themselves. Look at that deep push into mid from them.
This is crazy, though. The 0 point
catch
on
a spike,
B does not find anything. Bang is watching for it.
Oh, and the timing is so important. Bang claims the kill. Klaus is looking the other way, and he expects and anticipates.
Of course he does. I mean, the Soldier
Crowd
is not going to be funky
diya,
on their own. Bang knows there's got to be more there.
Moves away, though. What is the time to strike here? It's a little bit all over the place. It feels so damn awkward. Player's been caught out of position.
30 seconds left.
And
That's
now,
right and center.
weirdly, Cryo becomes the lurker, backstabbing, and 100 Thieves are forced into A. It's such a weird round.
This is all over the place, but Cryo is that backstab right now. Waits it out, doesn't get a kill. Dash to the side, trying to survive. Kesnet low enough, spraying it through. It's not the cleanest in the world, but it does get the job done.
It's a little awkward. Maybe lacking a bit of confidence. Definitely a theme that we'll be returning to, but it's 100 Thieves 3v2 in the post plan. The problem is they don't really know where
मैंने
these
100 Thieves
players
से पैसा क्यों लगाया?
with an opportunity.
And a kill found. Now down to that 2-on-2. Nade landing right at the back there of Dice. A double setup towards Hell, dropping down. Melzer, there was a flash to accompany it! The util was excellent.
They lost the buy round.
The 1-2 punch. Beautiful flash from
Bonus
Davies.
हार गए. Bonus
And a
जीत गए.
fantastically crafted bonus round. That is exactly what the desk is talking about. The fact that 100 Thieves composition on this map leaves holes that teams have exploited. Cloud9 put on a masterclass in exploiting the way that 100 Thieves play. And Crew not doing the same thing, but showing us a different weakness in how Cloud9 are playing their attack side. Nobody towards B, read the play perfectly, triple push out, and then also gorgeous utility to win a 2v3 retake. And that is going to hurt 100 Thieves.
Cloud9 on the brain.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's going to really hurt 100 Thieves here, though. Their economy instantly pushed back down. They don't start the ult cycling.
Deep smoke placed there towards Cat. Now Kesnet looking to try and take a fight down mid, and that is pure confidence, isn't it? Word of the day.
Stella's Viper Orb is really interesting. He was throwing that a few times in the game against Cloud9, but they weren't able to really get value from it. It's cool because it allows you, in theory, to lurk through Cat and try and really pressure this tree area.
Yeah, Davies is left wondering where exactly they could be. He's going to have a 0 point up in a couple of seconds, so that should be able to gather a bit of information, but for now just holding the gun out. Knows that they could have crossed Melter with the re-clear, and the crosshair placement was just good for it. A hard clearance to the side. There was no follow-up in sight. 100 Thieves now left scrambling for a bit of answers here, but they are on the weaker buy anyway. They'll take anything they can get. A couple of kills would be magnificent for them. Flash at the top though. Kesnet relieving that pressure. 3 in a round. Wants to make it 4. Seems to be fully aware of where Derek's position is, and yet there he does it.
Hello Atharv. Hello, welcome to the
Going
stream.
for a lot of these A splits, and this one dealt with very nicely by Crew. Of course, weaker weaponry for 100 Thieves, but the way in which they re-clear that area and instantly catch the kill on Cryo. Sure, the round goes very differently if Cryo wins the duel,
क्या हाल
but
है?
it did
बढ़िया
not
है
look like
यार,
Cryo
आज
was
थोड़े
ready for
लाइट
that
के
at all.
पंगे हो गए इसलिए रात को स्ट्रीम नहीं कर पाया.
I think
दिन में
one of
कर
the
लिया
big
था.
things that I'm noticing
I
watching
promised
100
you
Thieves is
guys
just that
one
Cryo's
day,
confidence
one stream a
level
day.
was in the tank
तो कर ही रहा हूँ.
compared to what we've seen from him in the past. And I think that's going to be a struggle going up against Kesnet. He's 10-1 right now, and he is going to push. They look like they want some kind of mid-crunch very early.
But रात को वाली स्ट्रीम नहीं कर पाया मैं.
Flash pushing them back as well over the top. 100 Thieves seemed a bit ready for that one. I believe that was Asanas that was hitting him in his face, so good way to try and dispel that aggression that was going towards them in mid, and a clearance there with the alarm bot.
They've used the Initiator utility mid and drone B main. This feels like it's going to be a B split here. Do 100 Thieves have anything to throw Crew off?
So re-clearance into mid here, trying to take the fight to it. Flick to the side, not enough for Cryo. He will be traded eventually.
Reasonable by both teams, though. Getting it down into a 4v4, and 100 Thieves are going to try and split Catwalk.
Barreling forwards, Melzer's close into the corner. Want util to clear, Paranoia wading right through. Melzer still alive, and he claims 3. Rewarded. And they just were not able to clear him out. Stella left with so much to do. And it's insane, just more individuality is what it feels like at times from these Crew rounds, the way they're winning them out. Singular players stepping up in a moment of need.
But also 100 Thieves are not able to stop this kind of stuff from happening. The jump peek from Asuna gives Melzer the easiest first kill he could possibly ask for, and then bang swings about 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
So there's no trade on the player that's jump peeking, and also Asuna doesn't even take a duel really to begin with. So it's just the way in which 100 Thieves are trying to get into these spaces makes no sense to me. You think back to how 100 Thieves used to play when we had them up, thinking about them being a great team. LCQ, Champions, the Red Bull tournament in the off-season. They looked so tight with each other.
Really well
the trading looked
Fucking up a
gorgeous from
lot.
people like Bang and Derek. And the way that Asna...
Hello Mimek,
and then,
welcome to the stream,
you know,
bro.
Will
यार 100 Thieves क्या कर रही है भाई? मैंने क्यों लगाया अपने Twitch points इस पे? Love from Mimek. अरे ID भाई, welcome to the stream, man. Hi. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hello Shuku. Hello bro. Welcome to the stream. यार क्या कर रही है 100 Thieves को समझ नहीं आ रहा यार. चैट तुम अगर देखते हो तो 100 Thieves तो पहले कितनी बढ़िया थी.
like it's their day.
मैंने अपने सारे Twitch points
Feel
लगा
it
दिए
in
उस पे.
the little plays from 100 Thieves.
और उन्होंने हग रहे भाई, बहुत ही गंदा
I don't know
यार.
what it is. I mean, the hesitancy is what I'm noticing
Noob
as well.
100
Just like
Thieves.
what you're talking about with the trading.
Sen better.
It's not
To be
there,
honest,
and like
I'm a Sen fan, but Sentinels isn't doing that really great, right? अभी Sentinels भी कल लेकिन you know, to be honest, Loud is like the best NA team right now, and उनके साथ dominating a map, 2 maps is like very good. Sentinels भी noob है. पहले Shazam था starting में, Jord थी. True. Shazam, the OG Sentinels was OP. इन लोग से अच्छा मैं खेलता हूँ.
100 Thieves have had some level of
I don't know about that, भाई.
adaptability. However, we're looking towards Cryo with the blade
Loud
storm. Could be a
OP है.
difference
भाई
maker.
लेकिन कल का जो सेंटिनल्स का मैच था, सेंटिनल्स और लाउड का फर्स्ट मैप ऑन पर्ल, आई थॉट पर्ल पे डिस्ट्रॉय करेगी लाउड, बिकॉज वो लाउड का पिक भी था, प्लस सेंटिनल्स वाज वेरी वीक ऑन लाउड पर्ल, एंड वो मैप को उन्होंने क्या डोमिनेट करा. फेव प्लेयर मेरा स्क्रीम है, हेडशॉट मशीन तुम्हारा. मेरा फेवरेट यार रिटायर्ड है, लेकिन वो तो श्राउड श्राउड है, बट आई गेस श्राउड भी नहीं, अब टेंस भी नहीं. आई रियली लाइक वो मार्व्ड, और आसपास अच्छा है, आसपास भी बहुत बढ़िया. मेरा फेव फ्लैपर तू है भाई. हार्बर डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था लाउड का. हाँ उनका कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुई थी, बट आई डोंट नो व्हाई सेंटिनल्स को उन्होंने स्टिल राउंड दे दिया था वो हेवन वाला. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. हाँ बिकॉज आई थिंक वो चले गए थे, निंजा डिफ्यूज स्टिल काउंट करा था. बट जो पर्ल वाला मैप था वो अमेजिंग था भाई. विदाउट 100 की पॉटी निकाल दी कसम से भाई. अनुज मोरे भाई गंदी पॉटी निकाल दी. अरे मोरे वैलो खेलेगा क्या? मेरे को मन नहीं कर रहा, पता नहीं क्यों 100 थीव्स का मैच देखने का, वॉच पार्टी देखने का बिल्कुल भी. दोनों ही टीम बड़ी बोरिंग है, 100 थीव्स और क्रू दोनों ही. ईजी और फ्यूरिया में एटलीस्ट फ्यूरिया तो अच्छी है. वैलो खेलने का मन कर रहा है, आज रात को वैलो नहीं खेल पाया. फिर से निकाल के एक और पिक. स्लीप अबे कल संडे है, क्या करेगा स्लीप का?
Any aggression that was planned has been stopped in its tracks, and look at that with the dash active. There's no value to be gained from it. Doubled up setup.
भाई 100 things is getting picked apart भाई. बाय राउंड भी नहीं हो पा रहे. कैसे भाई? बेटर जेट टिफ. बाय ब्रो. Thank you for watching the stream. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 1020 subscribers very soon. We are currently on 1017, just 3 subscribers away from 1020. काम करना है कॉलेज का. ट्रू कर ले, चल कोई नहीं, मैं वॉच पार्टी कर लूँगा. बाय बाय.
Derek's so scared he has to use his drone from basically spawn, and then they go and pressure mid, and every player that wanted a piece of that fight in mid got something out of it.
Yeah.
100 Thieves weren't able to.
Nice guy, Memek. Nice guy.
Guys,
by the way, if you're watching, you already have subscribed. उस दिन करवा दिया था सबको. कोई नया बंदा तो make sure to subscribe to his channel. Memek. He's a nice guy.
You know, Eccles getting dropped. Kind of. Oh god.
There's no reminders of that one.
शायद गोटी और खेल रहे होंगे भाई. इसने ओडिन स्पैम से कितना मार दिया.
How's he managed that one? Just tracking perfectly. Heard Cryo dash towards the switch. Knew where to be spamming it through. It's up to Bang. What more can he do? Drop down onto the side. One kill. Second one found.
Bang
Still alive
Bang.
in the action.
Bang ने कैसे निकाला मेरे से?
Maybe this is what they need to try and get back into this one, but immediately look at that flooding straight through, and the spike. No chance in hell of that one going down. Bang, 26 health. Got to do so much in the moment. Down to that one-on-one. Dodge to the side with a fragment nade, needs to kill.
Ooh, nice clutch. Finally around.
My word, they needed that. An absolute hero play from Bang when they needed it most. Like backs against the wall, Bang with nobody really to play off,
Bang
just leaps into sight and finds them 4 kills in the scrappiest manner possible. He has been the best player for 100 Thieves. This very young guy keeping his head in a moment where everything is going wrong. And now 100 Thieves take a timeout. Their second one of the map already.
In the first half, which I think is quite telling. Yeah, quite telling about the current state of the team. Something's been spotted here, something's going wrong.
I mean, yeah, but what do you focus on? What's the biggest issue here to get them across the line? Even the way that Bang wins that, it's not a really drilled site exit where everybody's playing perfectly and he gets the kills off the util. It's scrappy.
I think they're rushing into things. I think when they try and play slow, there's pieces missing. There's hesitancy in terms of how they're trading and playing with each other. There's too many gaps in the play.
Another thing that 100 Thieves will be discussing here potentially is how to use their ultimates to win the next round. There are none on board for Crew, and Derek has his Hunter's Fury, Asna has the null command. Now Derek has been punished going for these gelato Hunter's Furies. You saw Sean break down a play earlier where he's been using it from that point, and Cloud9 just got the lead because he used it twice in their attacking half. So I would expect Derek to switch it up a little bit here. Asna has been a bit varied in terms of how he's been setting up that ult play, but you know, from what we can see, it looks like they're going for a fairly default, just hard B hit with Derek ulting from tiles.
So that heavy group up. Close up there with a knife, but disrespect immediately shown. Kesnit's getting away with murder, potentially the Hunter's Fury. That's his time to strike. Coverage though. Okay, pushing him back, but bang! No way! Davies is there to return the fire. Bang was just trying to follow up on it with all that aggression, but they have managed to at least make their way into the site, but they have to deal with the back of it. The player's anchoring. Nice, it's still there, ready and waiting, maintaining, holding. Flash into the face of Cryo from every single angle. He just can't do anything. Crew overwhelming them.
8-1.
Yeah, Bang maybe fired up by that 4K in the previous round, chooses to try and take a fight thinking it's punishable, doesn't realize that there's two players there, I think. Maybe gets a bit unfortunate, but also overstepped, I think, a little. And then also once 100 Thieves path into the site, it's Cryo trying to hold off the rotators instead of helping his team get deep into the site. So people are playing strange roles based on where you would expect them to be, and Crew just tear it to pieces. Look how aggressive Kesnit is in those kind of moments. He looked like he wanted to run Derek down. Cover going out.
And it's that limit testing. When you're not punishing those openings that Crew are affording by playing that aggressive.
Ooh.
Okay.
145
just
headshot
from
for
the
the
sheriff, knocking him down to 5 health, moving away through mid.
Kesnit is just following every piece of utility.
Kesnit.
Oh, you're using initiator utility in mid? Oh, I'm gonna run and try and get the kills on you.
He's a scary player when you're up against him, and he's got his confidence up early. Can be hot or cold at times, and sometimes even just overheating, but
he's currently 16-3, I think.
Exactly.
And he's got 5 health, and I think he's still going to try and find kills.
And when he feels like he can fight every single battle, every single duel, and win it out, he's going to take those fights, even against the weaker guns. Not worried about it, but there we go. Maybe a mistake opened up for it. So, rifle dropped all the way to the back, probably not retrievable. And a flood instead, straight through into market. Max backs away to the side, still anchoring in these positions. Klaus returning forward. Paranoia is good. It's going to be blinding all of them, but there's a one-way in all of their faces, and nobody can really scale up. There was a snake bite. Their own, in fact, at their feet still. Swarming the site. Couple of upgrades with the rifles now and the weapons, but the spike has to go down, and it will do just that.
30 seconds left.
And this round looking massively winnable. That flash combo from Asna and Bang made a lot of difference, even though there was a mistake with the snake bite. Can Davies and Melzer get in here? Both flashes and Paranoia still available.
Tons of use still available. In fact, Davies could use absolutely everything here and get a lot of value. Fragment nade against the box. That's going to push the common position out as Cryo has to adjust. Flash into the back of the site, but there was no second peek by Melzer. Couldn't quite find his way in there, and at this point just opting most likely into saving. Has to be the percentage play. It does mean 100 Thieves will be claiming this round eventually. They'd love to get another rifle out of the hands of Melzer for it, and they will do just that. So, 2 on the board. Josh, you said 3 in a pistol, maybe winnable, maybe doable.
I mean, that's the bare minimum, I think, and 100 Thieves might just be clawing their way there. We had that
100
comment when they were
still
down
has a chance if they go 8-4.
and I said that they needed to win half of the 6-0, and they needed to win half of the upcoming rounds. That's exactly what they've done so far. Lost 1-1-1, lost 1-1-1. And this particularly being a thrifty.
This is a massive turning point.
It could be, and in fact for 100 Thieves, it has to be. Kesnit has now picked up an operator. And we're heading into this next round with Kesnit trying to get some space over in B main.
Crew have been playing incredibly grouped up. Kesnit's been supported usually with a lot of the utility from both the initiators. This has been just heavy how they're playing the defensive protocols on this defense side.
It is really strange to see Derek being the player controlling B main rather than using his Sova utility for them to take space, but this drone is just supposed to be a bit of a fake and open up space on Cap. There's still 2 players here.
Yeah, spamming the common positions there through the smoke, hoping for an easy kill. Cheap one of that. No clearance though of all of that util, and look at the way it's delaying them. They're
so
all
much damage.
Corralled into the corner. Chunk down. Bang on 60 health, moving forwards. Spike, it's so precarious. Look, no confidence in the way they're taking this one, but now Hunter's Fury to try and disrupt this plan. Derek's looking this way, that way, doesn't know which way to look. And now will the fight be taken by Crew? There's that 4v5, a slight advantage, more utility being used, chucked up to the top side of heaven there with a fragment nade. Pushes them back for but a moment.
This is where big plays potentially need to be made in the 4v5. Cryo looking for anything. Bang has an ult potentially to reposition. The flash not comboed with the peak, but just to kind of keep Crew back.
Paranoia is good though. Moves all the way through, drops down, Axis right in their face, Bang. Has to hold it down, has to hold the line. As the players are swarming the position, everything's known, drops down, angle once more, it's a one-on-one. Stella versus Davies.
100 Thieves
Need
come
to
out
win
around
this
there.
one. Time pressure placed onto Davies' shoulders. Doesn't get but he wins the fight regardless. Enough time in the end, potentially stands right down to the wire, .49.
And a great play by Davies.
Last round before the switch.
Everybody's looking towards Crew, expecting the big names of Kesnet and Melzer to be their highest performers, and they have been in the map so far. But Davies is sneakily good. And he's excellent in those kind of positions. He looked very precise with that kill in Hell and then plays the clutch 1v1 beautifully. Forcing the peek out of Stella and punishing for it. And now, I think this is it. If 100 Thieves don't win this round, I don't see a way back. And even if they do, it's going to be tough. What a wide swing!
Yeah, first duel taken, first fight taken, and he does get rewarded. I know to push them back away once more. Okay, evened out a little bit now into that 4v4. They look like they want to rush right into this one, into that B-split again, but these anchoring players of Crew are making it a nightmare. There was a moment TP being used. They are really just falling apart.
Wait, that's actually a crazy play.
All the way through, player cleaned up, just down the nags now.
Bang ulted into the front side,
100 Thieves
and
got around
everybody in
there.
Crew thought he was in back B.
Yeah, they were using util.
They were using util, they turned their eyes, and Nax is left in an unwinnable spot. Bang's just played the mind games to get 100 Thieves to 3, and might have given them the slimmest lifeline to hold on.
3 rounds is what they've gained, and now we move over and swap the sides around as well. Crew's attack side on Ascent. In the past, it hasn't looked as good, but we'll find out what our analysts have to say as well as they break down that first half.
Thank you very much, Brett and Josh. A little bit of first half dominance there out of Crew, 93. Though I will say, they did what Josh asked of them once they were down 6-0, right, in the half. He said, get half of the rounds here, pistol in the next half, and maybe 100 Thieves still has some life.
Yeah, maybe. They managed to recover this to a doable half, but we were still seeing so many of the issues that we were talking about in the pre-show rearing their head again for 100 Thieves. In these mid-rounds, they were leaving gaps. The coordination wasn't quite on point, and on the other side, Crew saw each of those gaps and feasted. Kesnet and Melzer were going insane that half.
Yeah, Kesnet actually was just popping off. He didn't look like any player in this server was scared, was anyone gonna challenge him at any given time this half. He just dominated 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves, like you mentioned, their mid-rounds, very lacking, right? They weren't drawing out utility, so when they finally pounced on the sites, they were just getting util dumped on them, and Kesnet coming and cleaning it all up.
Yeah, and even the rounds they were winning, it felt like they were playing it from that disadvantageous position where they were taking damage from the util. Well, Crew was set up to win, but someone like Bang, occasionally, maybe Cryo, would find a couple big kills to keep them in it. None of the rounds they won really gave me much confidence for 100 Thieves.
I think the only one that would have been that eco round that they won, right?
Sure.
They had, on B, they had to dump a couple ults to make it happen, but you're exactly right. The other two felt like individual, outperformances by Bang.
Still, 9-3's doable. If they can get this pistol on, maybe they can get things rolling. In their last match, they almost brought back Ascent versus C9 on defense. Their retakes are really strong with this Viper comp.
Yeah, and Crew has historically struggled on this attack half. We sound like we're coping a lot here, but Crew can run into a wall. This is the defensive side of Ascent, but 100 Thieves is lacking that sentinel, which is what I said in the pregame. Nothing in middle.
I'm looking for Kesnet to keep up his pace on this attacking side. He really struggled last time.
But the reality of Valorant is if you get 9-3, you can 9-3 on the other side, and that's what 100 Thieves needs to do. +1 to get the dub. We're getting that second half underway, so back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Hey guys, my name is HALANT. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with another video, and today is a big video. I have a big announcement. Well, not that big, but you know, big for my channel. So I have been playing this game known as Minecraft since 2013, and I love it, and I've been wanting to play with my friends, and I have been playing with my friends, but now that I've got you guys, my subscribers, and I want to play with you guys, so why not create a SMP server? So basically today's announcement is that I'm gonna create you have to do to join that server. If you have cracked Minecraft, then even you can join. You don't have to. First step that you have to do is go to the Radwin VPN website. I'll be giving the link in the description. So basically you have to download Radwin VPN like this, and I have already downloaded it, so I'm not gonna download it again. What you have to do is open Radwin VPN, and you'll have a basic structure like this. So basically Radwin VPN makes
just running rings around her opponents. Derek has to be the man of the hour now, anchoring at the back of the site. Stalwart defender knows he's being approached from this position now. Drop down onto the corner, one shot found. Will he claim the second one? It's that jumping right click. Klaus ends up being favored in it.
Ahead. 3v3, plant goes down. Nobody scanned by the dart that Klaus sent out, as Davies was looking to play aggressive. So this is as straight up as it gets in the retake.
Still a paranoia available for Bang. This could be a massive tool to use. Cleaves all the way through into the site. Two players watched out for. Kills need to be found. No, kills need to be found. How does that happen? Davies working magic with the frenzy. And Nagset with the safest hands in the world, managing to close that one out. So the pistol does not go 100 Thieves' way.
Another huge moment from Davies just to shut the door in 100 Thieves' face. This is going to be a dominant map by the look of things. I mean, 100 Thieves are not on the attack side. They don't get the plant money. What can they force with? They don't even have that much. So, Crew are looking very, very good here. The issues that had previously reared their heads, I don't think are even going to matter because they're so close to the finish line.
3 rounds, it's all that stands between them and winning this opening map.
And let's talk about things again here. Crew, winless, are going to be feeling incredible. You heard it from Davies earlier. As soon as they get that first win, he felt like all of their confidence issues would seep away. That the team would have a feel of what it's like to win on this stage.
And they're hungry.
Thinking about ending the stream after this map.
I mean, you look at their upcoming record in terms of their matches as well. They're going up against teams like NRG, Loud, Leviathan, Sentinels, Cloud9. This is their best shot to try and get that win. 100 Thieves. Nice response from them. Their own half buy.
Yeah, this could now get
a player advantage.
This could get dangerous now. It's not like there's any weapon upgrades, but there's still 4 sheriffs that they're up against.
It might have to be that individuality popping off now.
It's another really nice mid-round call. Just like the pistol where Crew faked catwalk and went back to B. This time they cut noise, re-hit. And 100 Thieves have been baited into the rotate both times.
And they contact all the way through. Nobody to meet them. Stella playing a very passive position, but now he's going to be hearing them charging all the way up to the back of the A site. Plan's going to start to go down here.
Free side, free side.
Yeah. What utility do they really have to try and play this retake? It's online. I'm still with the dash enabled as well. Flash over the top. That was Davies, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
The team flash. Snakebite at their feet now as well. Dart needs to be taken care of. Indeed it is, but it scans close. Is it going to be spammed there? Melzer rattling off the shots. There's no answer in sight. Stella on 11 health. So much to do. Not enough resources at his disposal.
Melzer.
And 100 Thieves simply weren't able to take advantage of that dart.
Dekh lo. Melzer 19-7.
Certainly chances.
Kesnet 17.
They all had sheriffs, but Crew survived.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right after.
And with only 2 rounds needed to lock up this
make
first
the Minecraft SMP world tomorrow.
An enormous advantage for the LATAM team hunting for their first win. And I think this is devastating for 100 Thieves, not just because they wanted a competitive game to begin here, but also because They needed to show us more than this in order for people to regain hope that they could be what was expected of them.
Yeah. A lot of criticism leveled at them regarding the team play, the compositions they've been playing on some of these maps, the ideas as well being a little bit too one-dimensional. We needed to see a good start in this series.
And you think about the way that 100 Thieves absolutely dominated EG and how close the EG crew game was. There was reason to believe that 100 Thieves might come out and have a somewhat simple one here. Certainly has not been the case.
Now, and credit to crew, I think that they have read a lot of the weaknesses of the way that 100 Thieves comms works.
Yep.
A lot of heavy flanks, a lot of emphasis on contact pushes because they know there's no killjoy util to catch them.
And crew are also just abusing the middle of the map right now. Like you said, no killjoy utility, no alarm bot. And 100 Thieves are really going to struggle to regain information in this area. Derek has no utility. He can't re-drone this spot and see whether they're there.
Time running low though, down to 30 seconds in this round, and this setup,
30 seconds
bit of crossfire. No command ripping its way across here. Davies, no abilities to be used to try and push this one back. Dart taken care of though, pushing forwards, no one clears a corner! And Asena's there, bang to follow up. Lovely confidence peak there from Klaus. It's a great return on the fire. Damage! Oh! Hello?
Cryo.
He's being missed there. The player's just not looking for him. Derek. They pushing him wide. Close together, needs to win this fight out. Damage is done to Davies, but he doesn't fall. Tagged. Has to take a wider swing, has to take a wider fight. Down to the side. They are weak. Stella manages to go away. The adjustments.
Stellar cut clutch.
Absolutely necessary. 3 in a round, and that's a round win.
That clutch wasn't expected at all.
They're going to need
Still
a lot more of those. That is a sloppy one. So many situations that could have gone in a completely different direction. Crew not clearing that close switch position. Cryo missing a really quite a simple kill on Melzer, who looked absolutely oblivious to the fact that there was a player genning. And then Stella with a gorgeous flick towards the end to win that 1v3, I believe. The economy's still doing well though for crew. In theory, that really was a bonus round, despite how good the weaponry was.
Gotta focus on that one round at a time. Crew, lots more opportunities to try and close this one. And again, look at that heavy presence towards mid. Door gets closed, but they immediately break it, wasting no time. We're in the first 20 seconds of the round. They're just disrespecting the middle area of this map.
And 100 Thieves also on the defense are somewhat passive, actually. They don't tend to try and take control of the tempo. Cryo is naturally a bit of a safer jet player. Rather than being very aggressive, someone like Kesnit.
Asna feels pressured here.
Yeah, double up, bang, Asna. They've got to deal with Melzer here and hold on to A main if they have any chance of repelling the push.
Paranoid close, Asna. Not really aware if there's any sort of crossed up, but a TP up to the high ground position. Angles watch for, okay,
nice
A main control still theirs, but guess what? Crew have taken control of the back of the site, and this re-flank of Nags.
I mean, the recon dart goes into B main because I think that's where Nag's lurk might be. Nags is already so far ahead.
Oh, and this timing here. I'm gonna get too much fun because the entirety of 100 Thieves is grouped up. Reflash round the side, spraying it down. Kesnit's still in hell, still causing problems for them. It's got to be clean now. Try and take these fights accurately. Nag said as well, just being that backstab element all the way behind him. No, one is wise to it. Down to the one-on-one. Cryo. Not planted safely, can't quite stick it. On it, tries to win the fight. It's Nags who secures the round.
Nice.
And it gets them up to map point.
Match point.
Nags on the monstrous lurk all the way through B. Evading that recon dart, slipping the net, and coming through towards the back. I can't help but think as well that you see Cryo win those most of the time last year.
Yeah. You really do.
It's been quite the fall from grace watching this 100 Thieves team, but that gives such great opportunities to teams like Crew to capitalize. And my oh my, they certainly have done here. Okay, Stella going for the same ult that he has done pretty much every time he has a Viper's Pit online on the defense, but no counterplay from Crew as yet. That's going to allow 100 Thieves, now that the pit is down, to go and stack a bit more towards the B side. Still no attention paid towards mid. No attempt at a crunch. No aggression there, really. But the weaponry is so poor. Crew are set up for the slam dunk finish.
It's all or nothing for 100 Thieves in this round. Only one rifle in the hands of Derek.
Enemy mark.
Crew are creeping ever closer now to that map win. Taking control steadily there. Moving their way up towards Cat. Kill needs to be found. Guess what? Weapon's not too good for it. No command now, just going to be ripping through them. That's Asanas just to make sure to deny this. But look at this contact here. All the way up, not making any noise. And it's a double face, a double swing. Maybe with a better gun, there could have been opportunities to be there. Found, but still taking all the space in the world. Kesnet leading the charge of the rest of his team.
Nags on the lurk, perfect. Melzer uses his ult, in fact, to avoid the Viper's pit. And Stella has been completely circumvented.
And it just feels inevitable, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It has been a gorgeous performance today from Crew. An absolute dismantling of what 100 Thieves have brought to the table. Running the same comp, and Stella on the Viper, left with a judge in hand.
Judge in hand, it's an impossible scenario. The Hunter's Fury committed. They know exactly where he is. And for Crew, this has been momentous. Great beginning to their series, and with that one finalized, wrapping it up 13-4 being the scoreline. They are paving the way to a dominant beginning in this series.
One of the most one-sided maps that we've seen in VCT Americas. No hope for 100 Thieves there whatsoever. No signs of life. All Crew. And if Kesnet and Melzer don't have anybody putting up any kind of resistance, they are going to continue to run over.
Chat isn't being paid to play the game though.
Kesnet's still on Jet, normally on Split. They're running double duelist a lot of the time on Split. Kesnet and Davies, they might just have a field day today. And what a way.
I'm sure whatever job you have, you're not perfect every day either.
Not just
right?
a scrape through battle against somebody else that's at the bottom of the
It's like
pack,
whatever
but
job you have, you're not
an
perfect either.
emphatic, decisive statement victory over one of the North American hopefuls who has...
I don't think we can compare though. This is a competition.
I mean, those wax wings are melting fast.
At a rapid rate, honestly. It might seem like we're being harsh, but bit of a dismal opening here for 100 Thieves when we were hoping for a little
This
bit
guy said,
more.
"I'm shit at my job."
Crew
KW.
doing their research, knew exactly the weaknesses of the composition they were up against, and now heading into perhaps even more favorable ground as we look forward towards Split. But that's going to do it for map number 1. We're stepping away for a bit, but we'll see you just after this.
Okay, we're gonna have an ad break. If you don't want to watch the ads, Twitch Prime sub or find an alternative solution. Enjoy. All right, let's go check these skins out. Am I ready? This skin? Or
wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Look at the headset. It is the same colors. Are you seeing the colors of the headset? Is that a stretch though? Is that a stretch of imagination, or you guys think they actually inspired it by that?
Okay, chat, I'm going to end the stream right
This
here.
chat
Thank
is
you guys for
reaching
watching.
so
Make sure
hard.
to like,
I feel-
share and subscribe. Bye-bye. Sayonara. Nerves भरा. कल मिलेंगे फिर दोबारा. Peace. Love you. No. Or maybe.